a lot of our players have wanted to go towards.
Yeah, I mean, I think tanks in general, people feel like, especially when it's double AP solo lanes, you build a Kanik. Once the Kanik's done, you're kind of chilling, right? You know, you are generally expected to get pushed in. Often the Rumbles will take first strike and just kind of farm some gold off you, and that is going to be one of the issues. We'll see if it is going to be Zeri. I mean, you could go Zeri Lulu. I do think that you're going to lose the 2v2
Zeri
really
Yumi
hard.
has been considered the counter. And I know it's weird, but it works. If they play really well. Basically, what you have to do is hit level 6 and you all in and they die.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
I
Otherwise,
can see
it's horrible.
Pre-6, I feel like it's such a bad matchup, though, that I'm always kind of
Name a matchup that isn't a bad matchup into Seraphine Ash.
Well, I mean, a lot of the good ones are gone, right? That's kind of the issue here. You're also going to have the issue of Knight on his Ahri. Mel, very popular in the LPL.
Have to see how they're going to be able to play it out here. Otherwise, BNK could find themselves on match point. Viper, though, has been really good at Zeri in the past. So if he manages to get towards this mid-game on relatively even footing, I'd be very frightened for BNK's chances.
And this is a big change for... Oh, gosh, that's not good.
VicLa may start his dying a little bit early this time around, wants to get it out of the way, and there is another first blood for Knight.
Not again.
No, you just got to get it off the table. You know, get it out of the way. He's sorted it out. He's figured it out. Unfortunately, the minions arrive really early now.
Yeah, get that TV off the table as well.
Get the TV
you can't TP into...
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, you can't TP into 3 players later and give up first blood because A, he won't have TP, and B, he already gave first blood.
Nailed it. See, that's the best way to deal. I knew you understood. I knew it.
Yeah, well, Viper, to talk a little bit about him, obviously this was the big change for BLG this year. You know, Shun came back, but also Viper came in, and this was a team that had Elk for so long. Early exhaust is going to be just for trading. And so Elk had been with this squad for so long, synonymous with BLG. They bring in Viper. This is a player that has been so reliable across a lot of different teams, a lot of different rosters over the years, has been so effective, and really is considered one of the greatest AD carries of all time. I will say I don't think he's had a great series thus far.
No, not quite.
And has definitely been Diablo getting the better of him, especially in that last game, but game 1 as well. They didn't really create, you know, much of an advantage. He wasn't really a big part of it. So now that they do have the answer, they are able to see the full enemy bot lane, go for their counter picks. We'll see how effective they are going to be.
And see whether VicLa can get it together here as well, as we do see him in the mid lane, and he is going to be all right. This time around, it was a little bit more of like there were too many bad guys in the area.
But he chose to walk into the bad guys' territory. He did walk down the dark alley.
He did, and so that's not necessarily
get away from there. You know, stay by the street lights.
Man, there are some scary things happening all over the map. As Viper going down relatively low, but On doing his best to soak as much of the harass as he can. Clear just behind the enemy turret, clearing things out, and we'll be looking to pick up the next one as well. This is what we see a lot, is you farm in between inner and then topside and the outer, and then you head over to this one, take this one down, and then you go for a free reset.
Yeah, turns out
it's working.
Best way to lane against the Rumble, don't lane against the Rumble.
Beautiful.
I love it. And Clear
how are you supposed to first strike him? Oh, he didn't even take first strike. There's the checkmate.
There you go.
From Ben.
That's how you're not supposed to first strike.
Yeah. Just doesn't even do it. We call it the money printer because Rumble just tends to make so much first strike money, it is kind of insane. So they can be even on CS, but there's like an 800 gold lead. it's so dumb.
Yeah,
Keen really made it look very broken.
And it scales quite well because it's percentage increase of damage, right? So later on in the game, it's not just the money rune; it's actually they're killing you as well.
Yeah. So you get more for your money.
Yep. I guess that's more money room, you know, because getting kills. There you go. Diablo and Kellen with the push thus far, which is kind of at least to my expectation. And we'll see, you know, if they are going to be able to find this wraparound, though.
Oh, yeah, Shun making his way in. Viper looking a little worse for wear. There's the flash forward. They want to just try and kill him before this one even happens. The flash out of the way is now Viper able to be taken down here by Diablo. Avoids the turret. It is going to be a 1-for-1. But Diablo, I think, pretty happy with picking up the first one here for BNK.
No kidding. I mean, Viper has, I'm just going to say he's played horribly in these first 2 games, and now in the third as well. It feels like some pretty big mistakes. I mean, you think back to Oner's going to die.
Yeah, he's a Yumi. He doesn't. His
barrier.
Yeah, his barrier's already there. He canceled the auto attack, so that's not great. So he's dead.
Okay, well, He does stay alive.
Outplayed Azale.
He has been outplayed. But I think back to the earlier 2v3 that they had, where it's Viper going too early, and I feel like the same thing happened here. You have Shun behind them. You don't need to go early and even risk anything. Wait till the Wukong is there, then go forward and make him commit to that. And I feel like it's the same thing that we saw from Viper last time around in that Jinx game, where he goes too early. You know, he shifted in. That time he was playing the Ezreal early, a Pantheon coming in behind. He shifts in early, ends up dying, gives over 2 kills, even though they did eventually kill the Jinx. And this time it's kind of the same thing again. So even with that counter pick, getting 2v2 killed, not what you want to see. I mean, look where Shun is. This is what is important about it to me. You do not have to overforce like this. Your Wukong is directly behind them. They have no clear way out. Yeah, you need to bait a little bit, but like, let's be honest, he could have played it so much slower.
Yeah, I do think that BNK were good to start the aggression as aggressively as they possibly could at that moment. But like you say, just hold on a little bit as, a bit of a laugh from On, because that was a pretty unfortunate cancel.
Yeah, it is. And Diablo, it did look like an auto cancel. I think maybe lost vision too. I'm not sure. But either way, I thought he would have had the Yuumi there for sure. Ends up going down, but now Raptor is the one behind them. Raptor has just been power farming. Shun is the beneficiary of all that madness on that bot side. You know, still obviously a good play for BLG, even though Viper did die when I didn't think he had to. It is still the Wukong that is getting accelerated, though now Raptor is the first to 6, has been power farming, steals away that Gromp, and now is going to go topside for the Scuttle, and we'll see if he can find anything with that first Nocturne ult, which is so important because it is a ridiculously long cooldown early on in the game.
Yeah, needs to try and get towards some of these Ultimate Hunter stacks, which is, I assume, where he's gone. Yes, indeed. So Clear and Bin fighting it out here towards his top side as well. Haven't really poked our noses in to have a look, but right now Clear is in a pretty good spot. Does have the wave shoving on forward, so I think that Bin should be able to even things out. But still, this is going better for the K'Sante than how I was expecting, because Rumble has been such a good laner in general.
And Bin has been doing very well also. You know, even when you think back to last game, obviously, you know, was not nearly as explosive as game 1, but he was just going kind of dead even with Clear on the Renekton, even though he was on the Sion, usually considered to be the early game losing part of that matchup.
There's the charm. Just bonked back there. And we were talking about this before, like, where's the value of the Mel? Well, it's only really the charm, but that's also like their only ranged CC that they really have outside of Prowling Projectile, right? And some harpoons. But like, as far as hard CC, the charm is what they're going to be fishing with.
Yeah.
And so I think that the value for the Mel could actually work.
It could. I mean, the question is, you know, will you be knocked up by the Cyclone when you're getting charmed? You know, will you be able to have that interaction happening? Yeah. Can you time the Reflect well amongst, you know, all that chaos? If you can, it is going to be really, really nice, right? You know, without the charm, Ahri just generally doesn't have kill threat. So you're looking to just kind of constantly harass. And when you go forward, not only does Knight have to worry about it being, you know, reflected and losing that damage and CC himself, it can hit you. And then if it hits you, you are charmed into a root, into a full Mel combo, which can be 100-0 once you get later on into the game, especially with the assistance of a reflected charm. So Knight definitely going to have to play carefully around that. But his Ahri has been stellar. I mentioned it early, but you know, he has some of the most impressive stats you will ever see on this champion. Most played in his career, 77.6% win rate, and killer stats. To me, I always think of him as still the Syndra guy, because I think about the early days when he was just so insane on that, but he had a ridiculous run where he had not lost on Ahri for such a long time. Yeah. It became, you know, to him what LeBlanc was to Faker, I think, for a long time.
Well, let's see whether he can make it happen as we're going all out here towards the top side of the map. Clear, looking for an angle, doesn't find the Q. So Bin is just going to be able to time this one out. Still, I think this K'Sante has worked as far as the answer to the Rumble. Really neutralizing it so far as Clear shoves another wave in. And BLG looking to start off this Dragon. That level 6 that we were talking about has been now picked up by Viper and On, but they haven't found an all-in angle just yet. As the Equalizer comes down just to clear out this wave, grab some tempo back, and that will happen here for Bin.
Yeah.
The extender beam comes down into this bottom lane.
Raptor's going to cancel his base. They're going to try to make this go really long. He is there behind him.
Yeah, there's a Paranoia. Flash comes on forward here as there is no ulti from Clear, so he couldn't get himself over the wall. So that's a 1-for-1, and that's a big one for Bin.
Yeah, that is honestly really good for Bin at the end of the day. It's a trade of flashes. You get a 1-for-1. Your team gets to do Dragon on the bot side. I'm kind of surprised they forced it that hard.
Oh, there's the all-in here on this bottom side as well for BLG. It's Diablo in a lot of trouble, has to flash to get underneath the safety of the turret. There's no kill, but it is still a lot of pressure put on here by BLG.
Yeah, and that is that level 6 advantage for On. He has the ult where Kellen does not. So even once they get the cleanse off Viper, there's no Encore to come through. That meant that Diablo had to flash away. So a good bit of pressure there from BLG, but yeah, I mean, once the wave got equalized on the top side, I'm surprised they tried to force that with no minions. I thought they were just going to kind of harass him, delay the base, and said, Raptor really wants to force this. I thought they might have gone for a really long wave, but instead, Clear goes in, tanks this up. Nice flash over by Bin, overheats, gets that damage down on Clear, who, as you said, he knew had no all-out because they had traded that back and forth early. So just need to get a little bit of damage down on him, locks him into a tower long enough they can get the kill.
Was a little bit unfortunate, but still able to get that kill back. You can see about a 900 gold lead at the moment for BLG. Looking a lot more like Game 2 rather than Game 1, though. So I think we will see a relatively even mid-game. Just have to see whether BLG can get themselves across the line after that, because, of course, they were finding a lot of great advantages in that game as well. I think this time around going to be a little bit more on the ball, as there is a little cat on a book that's kind of away from her friends, which is not necessarily what you want to see, but they're not going to be able to take down On this time around, and he's proven that he's quite slippery on this champion.
Yeah, and Kellen just now hitting 6, so I think that's why he probably wasn't super worried. You knew the Ash Arrow had been used in that last fight. You knew that there was no level 6 on the Seraphine. Now you do have both those tools coming up here, so this is where Viper will have to be careful, because you have no cleanse available. If all the CC hits, it can be very devastating. And I think that's going to be something that's problematic in general for BLG, even for people like Bin, who, you're going early tabbies because it is Nocturne Crescente on the top side, but then that means you have no tenacity here against all of this CC that is going to be coming through. The Mel Snare, the Encore, the Roof from Seraphine, the Crystal Arrow, there's the Fear. There's so many tools that BFX have. If you get caught in that CC, the chain can be kind of never-ending.
Yeah. Well, let's just see whether they can actually deal with this one. I think in isolated little skirmishes, though, BLG are so powerful with the composition that they have. Ari and Wukong very, very good at just locking down a target and having enough damage to kill them. And then in the late game, it's just going to be the Viper show. He has to dodge basically everything, but if he does manage to do so, utilizes that cleanse very well, and there's a Mikhail's on this cat, then this Zeri could really take over the game. So certainly some win conditions here, but it will be tough going for the AD carry. And like you were saying, he hasn't had the greatest series so far. Why not just allow him to hard carry this one in a scenario where he absolutely has to, if BLG are going to get over the top as far as later on in the series is concerned, in the game is concerned.
Yep, has that Shiv completed. Obviously, he's in a totally fine position, in this game. He's doing pretty well, just didn't need to give over that kill, I don't think, earlier to Diablo, who has been stellar. And that's the scary thing, right, is you don't want to give a kill to Diablo, accelerate him when he has been having such an impressive year and even a really impressive series, coming off of a pentakill, a game-winning pentakill, and is going to be set up for success here. You have to think in this game, though there are a lot of threats, so Ashe is not going to be easy to play, especially if you don't have Flash. It's going to be almost impossible for Diablo, it feels like. It's going to be really down to his team peeling for him, because without Flash, Equalizer's going to get dropped on your head. There's going to be Shun coming in with the Cyclone. There's going to be all of these things thrown at you, and that is going to be almost impossible to dodge on the Ashe. But if they're the ones who are starting off the fights, I think equally so it can get very chaotic on the other side.
Yeah, and I think if they're coordinated, even if they're engaged on, right? Like, Paranoia can be such a good defensive tool as well as an engaged tool, right? Turning off the lights can really make things frustrating. And so if BNK are going to be able to get those team fights working, as they said themselves that they absolutely love it. They wanted to show the world how good they are in these sort of fight scenarios. So let's see whether they can put their money where their mouth is here in this game number 3.
Look at all the vision BLG are putting on that bot side in the jungle, trying to track where Raptor would have to ult Viper from, right? So they're saying, okay, we got to keep Viper safe. All of these wards through the entire bot side, wards in the river, 3 in the enemy jungle, a pink there down on that bot side as well.
Oh, Arrow connects from downtown! Paranoia comes through once again, it's clear. He can't take the turret for much longer than that, but he doesn't need to, as Raptor will take the last one, and down goes the Rumble. This time, the dive worked.
Diablo setting it up from downtown.
He was actually in the bottom lane. That was insanity.
Yeah, I actually looked behind me. I heard him yell out Kobe on the stage, and the rest is history.
Yeah, there we go. Beautifully done. That is going to be the first turret taken down as well. So BNK a lot more money, but now BLG to try and fight back. There's the Cyclone onto Diablo. He flashes out of the way. A great encore here from Kellen defensively as the final chapter comes down, but I don't know about that timing as Viper throws in his ulti as well, and now Clear comes in with a huge shield, but Knight's down as well. The charm is going to miss though, and Diablo is doing his very best to get out of the way of every ability thrown at him, and nothing's going to stick.
Nicely done there by Diablo. Important sidesteps, but now VicLa's moving down here on the Mel. They want to continue the fight because Raptor and Clear are very healthy.
Yeah, there are so many buttons now on cooldown as well on either side. But Clear also wants to get some value out of this teleport that he just used to get towards his bottom side. Could be a dragon being taken as a Hex Tech is now up and available. Would be able to even out the dragons here, and it looks like BNK are going to settle for that.
Yep, and he had a lot of time because he had that wave push so deep, right? They had taken the top lane tier 1, so they got first tower. He had pushed it all the way to the tier 2. He's going to be losing plates now. It is VicLa looking like he's going to go up and answer that. So there is a cost to this. Bin is going to get some money, but still, you get down towards the bot side, you get that dragon, that's going to feel nice.
Well, you got an exhaust down onto Raptor, who flashes out of the way. Over the wall goes Viper, though, and oh dear, the shutdown comes in. It's not a kill for the Zeri. That is probably good news if you're a BNK fan.
Yeah.
But you're getting pretty close to some certification because Viper is looking terrifying.
He is, and well played, honestly. They're just very patient with the dash. They chase him down, utilizing the exhaust to just hold them kind of in place.
Yeah.
Force out that early flash, and then just slides right over the wall, gets an easy kill. Definitely should not have taken that kill. Of course, Wukong with money is still great, but you want that shutdown on your Zeri, let's be honest.
Yeah, Zeri's probably one of the AD carries that wants it the most out of everyone.
Greedy.
Can really take over the game. Greedy, but for a good reason, you know? Let's see whether Viper is going to be able to get a kill for himself. It does now have about a 12 CS advantage as well. And so that is not what you want. If you're a Seraphine Ashe lane, you probably want to be ahead. And they are certainly not. The top side of the map, though, is where BNK do have a bit of an advantage. And only 700 gold doesn't really mean too much here when we know they have such a wombo combo here on this BNK side. Same is to be said for BLG, though. They can find themselves some pretty devastating team fights if they're fighting on their terms. And I think, like, we talk about this, but I think it's going to be who has the fights on their terms that is going to be able to win. So tempo going to be such a huge thing in this game. As VicLa, I don't know about that position as he flashes to get himself out of the way. There's a paranoia as they just turn it onto Raptor. Does have that shield. Oh dear, okay, that is a lot of damage as they go 1-for-1. Now the flash on in as Viper looking for it onto Diablo, but he has the shield. He had the barrier, and Kellen's able to pick up the kill. Now the cat doesn't have a friend anymore. There's a fight on the bottom side of the map as well, picture in picture, but you've got to see this Monkey making his way out of the pit. Shun is going to survive, and it looks like Clear is okay as well there towards that bottom lane.
Viper just flashed on Diablo, and Diablo's like, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. He just takes him down, and egg on Viper's face once again. The woes continuing a bit for the BLG bot laner. Shun still at the end of the day, you know, he gets the Herald. He's getting really, really strong, but Viper just looking a bit out of sorts as Diablo just pop that barrier. They're going to try to run down
Maybe if you've got a
VicLa.
name that starts with V, it's just a bit of a rough day. As we can see, VicLa down the red carpet and will just be dead. Oner's going to steal that kill away. We're all about not giving kills over to the right people in certain circumstances. That's sort of how it's been going here. As BNK looking to try and answer here in this mid lane. It's a decent cross map as the extender beam not going to be enough to take down these minions, so it should be BNK able to open up the map here with this mid lane outer turret.
Yep, that is great. Going to be able to knock down another tower. The gold very, very close. BLG just ever so slightly in the lead here. But BFX fighting well. Viper now does have that second item here, as is going to have that really powerful initial burst of damage. You pop the ulti, you get all the crits, and you're going in with On, having exhaust, having ultimate, and you're trying to really put out that pressure very, very quickly. Push Diablo out of the fight, push VicLa out of the fight. And VicLa, his positioning has not been perfect by any means. They're going to look for a dive.
Yeah, he may just be dead as the riposte does come on through, but it's not going to do anything at all. However, he has the ulti down. That is so many stacks, and that's a flash needed from Knight to get himself out of the fight. And Shun's going to be taken out. The revenge of VicLa has happened. happened. And now Knight is going to have to try and get himself out of the enemy jungle.
Might be time to check your clocks because it's looking like it's the year of VicLa.
I'm looking at my calendar. We had a little bit of a moment at the beginning of the day, but it was just the wrong timing. Knight will be taken out. Raptor is able to finish that one off.
Yeah, VicLa used the reflect so early. I thought he was going to get killed for sure, but then Knight missed the charm. I think Knight felt that VicLa was going to continue moving, but VicLa actually, watch, he stops moving here, uses the reflect really early, and then he stops moving to cast the Golden Eclipse. And Knight throws the charm down below him. That was a stationary target, but I think Knight thought he was going to continue moving and was kind of throwing it preemptively where he thought he would go. If that charm lands, VicLa's dead for sure. Unfortunately, Knight does not hit the charm. VicLa survives, gets a kill there. And BLG now, just like that, they were up 500. They are now down 1.2K. And creating a very nice little edge here for themselves.
And look at the junglers as well. And now Coinbase Gold Grind, Raptor versus Shun. It is a decent lead for the Nocturne. And the junglers have been really the main characters of this particular game. And you're looking at a 4-1-2 Wukong. And he's behind.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Raptor has been farming very effectively. Look at the CS difference, right? Yeah. It's almost 30 CS. That is where a lot of that is coming from.
Arrow connects onto the Wukong, who was in the
surprise monkey.
Yeah, surprise monkey. Just going to take some arrows. But BNK not going to get too much joy from that ulti being thrown out.
Gotta be careful where you shoot those arrows. You don't want to just hit a random monkey in the jungle. Brother's in his home.
They are in the jungle, so there are monkeys. You do have to be careful of them.
You do have to be careful.
All right, so Mountain Drake, it's going to be a Mountain Soul this game, and I think that if BNK managed to get a Mountain Soul, it might just be game over, because I don't know whether anyone can kill Clear.
Yeah, I think that will be really, really difficult. So much of the top side of BLG is all about the initial punch, obviously, you know, with the Cyclone, with the Spirit Rush, with the Equalizer, being able to burst someone down during that moment. And Mountain Soul makes that really, really tough. Bin going to be trailing Knight here. They were going to see if Clear would overextend, but he does not. And even if he did, he is very resistant to magic damage.
Yeah, it's going to take about 12 years to die. We can see already things are a little bit rough, right? Because Ari not exactly a tank buster, as now we've got an Encore coming on forward. Charm comes on down, but it looks like we are going to see the monkey make his way out, and a successful escape there from Shun.
Runs for the hills, will be able to get out of there, and that is really nice. Just trading the Cyclone for both the Paranoia as well as the Golden Eclipse, as well as the Encore. That is
pretty good.
A really good deal there for Shun. And we will see. This next fight, I think, is going to be a pretty important one. I do think BLG will be ready to fight at this next dragon. I think that's where we're really looking for action once again. If they can't just find some sort of a pick, that is where we are going to have to see if they are ready to scrap, because I don't think you want to allow BFX to just get towards Soul Point for free.
Nope. And there's also 2 items on the Seraphine as well. This is where she really starts to become pretty obnoxious in this game, as VicLa does tank a Prowling Projectile that Shun not too keen on making any more engage happen. As the Rich Herald may just die again. Never mind, does manage to get a charge, but there's the final chapter. Not exactly doing too much of anything at all. Clear making his way in with the teleport. Let's see whether this wraparound is going to work, as he finds a great flank angle, pushes the Wukong out of the way as the Q doesn't land from VicLa, but Knight is kind of out of this fight, and Clear is just kind of by himself and not taking damage.
Yeah, not taking damage, but not really doing any either. BLG do get pushed back, but it was the TP off Clear for really not much of anything.
Well, not yet anyway, as they're continuing to fight here. There's the all-out as Shun getting pulled back. The equalizer is fantastic as Raptor is just going to get taken down. The volley is hurting a little bit here, but it's BLG that draw first blood in the fight as VicLa gets in, finds the overwhelm to take down this Rumble as they get vision of Shun, slowed down by the volley. Prowling Projectile onto Diablo as the extender beam. Now I don't think they want to be diving as Zeri. That's the time where she kills all of you and you lose the game.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that. It felt like a bit of an overforce from Clear. He TP'd in and he just seemed so hungry to try to find something. Then it looked like they actually had finally found something as Shun was staying around. I mean, Shun is just messing with Raptor there, trying to knock that down, has to retreat back, but he used the clone to try to get away. The equalizer here, though, was so problematic for BFX because Diablo can't even walk into the fight. He's got to walk back the entire way around. And Diablo, though, as we're back to live, looking for 1v2.
There's 3 people here, Diablo. What are we doing? That was crazy, but he did almost manage to get a kill. So maybe we say that it could have been worth, and sometimes things don't work out.
Did not work out that time. He does lose his flash and does die, which is going to be really big for the next fight. At the very least, though, they got the flash off of Shun, so they did get some tools out there, as well as it looks like both the summoners from On at the same time. It was very close to getting a kill in what seemed to be a 1v3 as we jumped into that.
Very interested as to how that one started. As I imagine, Diablo probably found himself a lone monkey, and then the monkey's friends turned up.
It's never a fair fight.
Yep, doesn't quite work out there. As it's a lot of animals on the BLG composition. Have you noticed?
True.
Kind of crazy.
It is.
Just
Shun is very low.
Rumble.
It makes more sense how he almost died now, I feel like, as the early flash, Diablo kites out the Cyclone, turns around with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but, I mean, Viper is there. I feel like he could have just walked out of that one.
I think he could have just decided not to die.
This is very much a Diablo play, as you see the reaction.
Yeah, rather is just like, oh, not again.
Diablo is one of these guys who hits the sickest outplay you've ever seen, and then is like, ha, you can do nothing to me, and then just walks in and kills himself immediately.
Exactly. Well, they are now just going to walk over to Baron. Let's see whether this is going to work, because right now, BLG seem to have absolutely no idea that this is happening. And in fact, Knight might check it, but this is gone.
It is gone. But we'll see the fight after, because now they know, and BLG are coming, but Bin has his TP. They're going to go.
Yep. Extended Beam does come on down. As we do have a snare that is going to hold them in position. Final chapter does come on forward as they're looking for the Wukong, but he gets stunned up, just destroyed by VicLa. And now, BLG also going to lose the fight. They get on in there. Knight takes so much damage as Diablo just shoots him. And yeah, they managed to take down the Ashe, but Diablo is not the main character this time around, as it's a triple for VicLa. Make that one a quadra. Oh my god, that's an ace for BNK!
It's the year of VicLa, baby!
I guess it is!
Quadra there, starts off the game getting first blooded, and he is 7-2-1. But watch Viper again. Viper in this fight here. He tries to go right into the face of VicLa, goes straight in, and he just gets burst. He just dies. No flash. He cleanses the root, doesn't use his flash at all. He's playing these fights way too fast, way too aggressive. Let the people get in front of you and then hit them. You have so many members around you to support you in that spot, but he's just charging in and dying off. Viper gets destroyed by Diablo and VicLa as he just charges into their face. And VicLa now, it's Magi's time. He built the Magi's against the Magi's guy.
Oh, that's my boy.
That is confidence.
See, do you know what? It's exactly what we were talking about. He got it out of the way early this time.
Yeah.
You know, just do it before the laning phases even happened. As now clear, we were talking about his immortality. We do have a dragon up and available for BNK. That'd be Soul Point and double mount. Is already just so many stats to try and get through on this Cassante.
You know, next game, maybe he could ask Knight for a quick 1v1, get solo killed before the game starts.
That's an in-practice tool.
In-practice tool, exactly. That would be crazy.
That'd be the tactic. We'll have to let VicLa know. As Shun looking for a little bit of a wraparound, should be able to get into position as the equalizer is good from Bin. At the same time, the encore is also fantastic. It's another kill as VicLa goes godlike. They get into the backline. The Mel is taken out as it's a double for the Zeri and make that one a triple. Never mind. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you make as long as you find your window to get that certification. It can work as he does need to be a little bit careful here as the bottom lane are still alive. Bin needs to find some of these harpoons. Look, Diablo just wants to walk up. It doesn't matter the scenario.
His sidesteps have been so good. Sidestep a couple skill shots in a row there, but BLG retreating away into this tower are going to be able to knock that down. It was a great reflect from this one from VicLa. He got to reflect on the charm onto Knight. Knight got charmed up, got burst down early on. So even with that equalizer that looked pretty much perfect from Bin, this fight is just continuing. Equalizer is back.
Yeah, Equalizer does come down. It's not doing a whole lot.
Knight
as his inner turret is also down. Kellen has to tank up the prowling projectile. Bin looking a little worse for wear, but gets that flame spitter onto Diablo. And now Knight is back like you were talking about, but so is VicLa looking to try and take down Bin. He just explodes at the start of this fight, but it's 2 for Knight. Just dashes after them and takes them down in what was the weirdest League of Legends I'd seen in a really long time. Now as VicLa continues the fight, there is a Foxy Lady for On to join with, and now back on over to Viper as final chapter's up again. And now Shun looking for a little bit of an angle. 7 seconds on that Cyclone as you've got Raptor coming in. Does make them a little bit afraid as Viper gets himself back into position. And Raptor is the target they're looking for. He dashes over the Cyclone and VicLa does it again! Viper just explodes one more time. Same thing to be said though as the Mel is taken down. This is one of the longest team fights I have ever casted in my life as they've respawned and they're back into it once again. This time it's Clear going all out against BLG. And Zale, who won?
I would say BFX because Kellen is back. Diablo is respawning. It's their dragon.
I guess
and that
so.
was crazy. We saw a fight. I want to say start and end with an equalizer, but the fight kept going after the second equalizer, and the fight now is ending with the third equalizer.
We need to change the name of Final Chapter, by the way, because there were two, and obviously was wrong.
It's been renamed in the patch notes to add a page.
Aha! There we go.
Yeah, and here it is one more time. They just decided to go back in onto Viper. Viper walking forward, gets tagged by everything from VicLa, gets burst down, even with Shun killing off VicLa afterwards. Clear is here, Raptor is here. They don't have the damage to get through them. Raptor knows it, flashes forward, and they're able to get even more. And now with the bot lane respawning, we assume that in live, they were able to get more there.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about being able to live. He's been able to live in a lot of scenarios. Currently 14-1 as far as like assists and kills versus deaths. That is pretty ridiculous. 14 KDA, not bad. But let's see with the BLG with almost a gold lead, you could say. I mean, it's there's nothing much in it here at 29 minutes in the game. BNK though, 18-6 as far as those kills are concerned, and they have been team fighting very, very well, and they have the tools to make this one happen. So let's just see.
Yeah, VicLa has lost most of the pages in his mage eyes, unfortunately, but he is subscribing to the school of Chovy thought here. Should get a proto belt on everything.
Yep, that's a good way to do it.
He's got it, and Infinity Edge done for both the Diablo and Viper. Damage really has ramped up. Viper has not really looked very impactful in this game, but he is 3K up.
He does have the capacity to win for BLG.
Exactly. Like
in any scenario.
You have one good fight where Viper is not just getting randomly one-shot, and you have people in front of him, and he could end the game.
Oh, there's a paranoia. I'm not entirely sure why.
I think they didn't realize how many members were there, and then as he popped it, they got vision of more of BLG coming in. I think he was saying, oh, there's only one or two here.
No.
Exactly. And then someone screamed, Ben's there, Ben's there, Ben. So they do waste the paranoia, but it's rank 3. It's pretty late in the game, and you can see it's already, about a third of the way off cooldown. So it should be up and available. I don't think BLG are going to be forcing a Baron in their face or anything like that. So you really are just waiting for this next fight here at the Dragon for that potential soul.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty high value as well. Mountain Soul, as we mentioned, could be pretty powerful on BNK. Any soul is generally very good, but if you're the one team with a tank, you'll be feeling pretty fantastic to buff Clear up, make sure that he is an immovable object in that front line. He's also so important against Zeri. Cassante is brilliant into Zeri. She loves coming over walls. And then he says, no, back you go. And then if that's on cooldown, she's not going to be able to enter the fight, and then you kill everyone else. That is kind of the theory.
You can see Viper now on 5 completed items plus the boots, as he just finished up another one. So is that full item ahead of Diablo, who will still have a lot of threat, and Kellen does have his Mikhails. So it's the Reflect you have to deal with for the Charm. There's also the Mikhails now. It is going to be very difficult for Knight, and he has been struggling in this game.
VicLa doesn't have a lot of buttons left, but Viper once again goes in, and his health bar just evaporates. As there's the paranoia, you can see Raptor still looking for an opportunity. For the rest of BLG, they do collapse around their AD carry, but Clear just says no. Just kills Bin. In goes Shun, and just down to his GA immediately. BNK just taking them down one after the other as finally Viper goes in, finds one, but then Diablo stands his ground and murders him. On this time, he's not going to survive, and it's a multi-kill, a quadra for the Cassante of Clear.
Clear saw what Diablo did, what VicLa did. He wants to get involved too. How about a quadra for Cassante and a win for FEARX?
What the heck was that? Brilliant team fighting here from BNK. They'll take down this mid inhibitor once again. And one more time, it is just a waltz through the mid lane in order to take down the Nexus. BNK reaching match point in their first best of 5 of First Stand 2026.
What a way to do it, man.
Oh my, that's